Fast Eco presents The Poverty Trap, featuring Amartya Sen.
Hello Azman, hello Louise. Thank
Hello.
you for being here, guys.
Hello, thank you for having us.
It's a real pleasure.
Welcome to Fast Eco. And for our first episode, we'll be teaching you everything on the economy of the world. As it is the 17th of October, Elimination of Poverty Day, we wanted to inaugurate this special day. Today, we'll be diving into one of the most stubborn problems in economics, the poverty trap. Most of us have a simple picture in our heads. Poor people don't have enough money, so they can't invest in themselves, so they stay poor. But what if that picture was wrong? Or at least incomplete? Today we're going to look at this through the lens of Amartya Sen, Nobel Prize winning economist and one of the most influential thinkers on poverty of the last century.
So, many people don't know who Amartya Sen actually is. Amartya Sen fundamentally changed the way economists think about poverty. He argued that the trap isn't just about income, it's about something deeper. It's about what people are actually free to do and to be.
Yeah, and also that might sound abstract, but has very real consequences for billions of people. So just let's break it down.
Yeah, I think we should start with the classic economic definition. Like, what exactly is a poverty trap?
So, the traditional view is pretty straightforward. A poverty trap is a self-reinforcing cycle where being poor makes it harder to escape poverty. You don't have enough income to save. You can't invest in education or healthcare. Your productivity stays low, your income stays low, and the cycle repeats. Economics like Jeffrey Sachs pointed to things like the subsistence trap. If your entire income goes on food just to survive, you literally have nothing left to invest in the future.
That's true, and we also can see this globally. In parts of sub-Saharan Africa, families spend up to 80% of their income on basic food. There's simply no margin to break out. Or think closer to home. In deprived areas of France or the UK, if you can't afford childcare, you can't work full-time. If you can't work full-time, basically you can't afford childcare, and it's just a trap within a trap.
So, the traditional solution would be giving people more money and the cycle breaks? But Sen says that's not enough. Can you explain us why?
Okay, because money is only a means to an end, what matters is what you can actually do with it. Sen introduced two key concepts, functionings and capabilities. Firstly, looking at functionings. Functionings are the things a person actually achieves. Being well nourished, being literate, being healthy, being able to participate in society. Where on the other hand, capabilities are the real freedoms a person has to achieve those functionings. Not just theoretically, but practically.
Yeah, and here's a concrete example. Imagine two people receive the same cash transfer. So we're going to take an example, person A. Person A lives near a school, has good health, and a support network. She can convert that money into education for her children. Her capabilities are really high. And on the other hand, a person B lives in a remote area with no school nearby, is chronically ill, and faces discrimination in the job market. Even with the same money, her practical freedom to achieve the same outcomes is far lower. Same income, totally different capabilities, and that is Sen's point.
Well, that's actually quite true. Sen actually called this the capability approach, and it completely reframes the poverty trap. The trap isn't just that you don't have money, it's that you lack the capabilities to convert resources into a better life. Those capabilities are shaped by health, education, social norms, infrastructure, discrimination, things that money alone doesn't automatically fix.
That's a really powerful distinction, and Sen didn't just leave it as a theory. He helped build something practical out of it. As it is, in 1990, Sen co-developed the Human Development Index, the HDI, alongside economist Mahbub ul Haq for the United Nations. The HDI was a direct challenge to the GDP per capita as the main measure of a country's progress. It combines three dimensions: life expectancy, education, measured by literacy and school enrollment, and income. The idea was a country might be getting richer, but if its people are still dying young and can't read, that's not a real development.
Well, that's actually a very good point because this matters enormously for understanding poverty traps. Take a country, for example, like Nigeria in the 2000s, strong GDP growth from oil revenues, but HDI barely moved. The wealth wasn't translating into capabilities for most people. Contrast that with countries like Vietnam or Bangladesh, which achieved major improvements in health and education even at relatively low income levels. That's Sen's argument in action. Capabilities, not just cash, determine whether people can escape the trap.
So the HDI is essentially a capability scoreboard for nations. Before we wrap up though, Sen's framework isn't without its critics. Let's address that.
Yeah, it's worth acknowledging the limitations. One major criticism is that Sen never gives us a clear list of which capabilities matter most. His colleague, for example, Martha Azman, tried to fix this with her own list of 10 core capabilities. But even that is contested. Who decided what freedoms are fundamental? There's also the practical challenge. So measuring capabilities is much harder than measuring income. Policymakers often default to what they just can count.
Yeah, and that's what some economics actually argue in the short term. Direct cash transfers, like Brazil's Bolsa Familia or Kenya's Give Directly program, they can be more immediately effective than trying to reshape entire capability structures. The evidence on cash transfers is actually quite strong. They do help people break out of poverty cycles, at least to a degree.
So the debate isn't really cash versus capabilities. It's probably both, used together. So to bring it all together, the poverty trap is real, but Amartya Sen taught us that it's more complex than a simple income problem. It's a capability trap. People don't just need more money. They need real, practical freedom to convert that money into health, education, and opportunity.
And that means the solutions need to be broader too. Not just cash transfers, but investment in schools, healthcare, infrastructures, and tackling the social barriers that keep capabilities low. All of these problems are quite important to address.
Yeah, and the question Sen leaves us with is still deeply relevant today. Are we measuring the right things? If we only count income, we might declare victory on poverty while millions are still trapped, just with slightly more money in their pockets.
Thanks for being here with us, Azman and Louise, and thanks for everyone who's been following our podcast. And if there's one thing to take away, it's this. Escaping poverty isn't just about having more. It's about being free to do more. And until we close that gap, the trap remains.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.